welcome to another episode of Strangers in the Alps, a movie podcast where every week we talk about movies from all genres in a very in-depth, intelligent, rambling fashion. I'm Dan.
More rambling than intelligent.
We're more rambling, yes. We're rambling in an intelligent way. I'm Dan.
I'm Travis.
I'm Sam.
I'm eating a cheeseburger.
Last night I dreamt a
And
hamburger.
that would be Frank.
Last night I dreamt a hamburger was eating me.
Oh, shoot.
This is going to be a great show.
Oh, that's cool. Why don't you show the audience?
That is cool. For those who can't see this, which is all of you,
I'm sorry.
she's holding up a
Blue Beetle?
a thermos, right? You would call that a
dumbass.
water
Yeah,
thermos?
That is actually really cool.
No,
And
here's the thing. This is
it has like
people think
a
I'm being
skin on
mean
it.
to Travis. He's mean to me because when we walked in, I'm like, oh, I need to show you my water bottle. And then when I showed it, he goes, show the audience. Dummy, give me back.
No, that's really cool.
I like the skin on it, though. That's really cool.
I do
Does that
too.
come off? Can you remove that skin?
No.
Look, you got to
Stop
tell him
talking
the
to
whole
me.
thing, though. The full context.
Dan gets to keep
When
the
you
tips.
said that, the first thing Travis said was nobody cares, and then he pushed you. And then he said, but do you want to show the audience?
Yeah.
The following was not
Thank
true.
you. Sorry, I
following-
fell down and I
It's
missed
already
half
laid
of
down,
my memory.
dude.
Thank
the
you
audience
so
already
much.
heard it. Sorry, didn't mean to talk while you were talking.
That was me falling.
Okay, let's take our turn now.
What are we talking about?
You have really bad timing.
Gosh darn
If
it.
I had $1 for every time.
Read the back of the VHS tape that never existed for this film.
It exists somewhere.
It exists.
VHS tape?
Somewhere. Probably
Over
in like
the rainbow.
Probably in like some country
Silver
somewhere.
Lake.
Costa Rica or somewhere
Yeah,
like
Costa
that?
Rica, Budapest. A once celebrated kid detective, now 32, continues to solve the same trivial mysteries between hangovers and bouts of self-pity until a naive client brings him his first adult case to find out who brutally murdered her boyfriend.
That is not only the summary, but that's the plot.
Of Drew Nancy.
Yes. Of the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew,
The Hardy Boys,
kid detective.
the hardly grown up. Boys.
Before we go to pre-thoughts, I have a question. Who directed this movie?
This movie was directed by Evan Morgan.
And what else did Evan Morgan
This
do?
was his directorial debut.
Okay.
Has he done anything since?
No.
So this
Damn,
movie
that's
came
bad.
out in...
Is feature. Sorry, he's done, I think,
Oh.
a few music videos before this, and he has some writing credits.
Would this be Adam Brody's next movie after Ready or Not, would you guess?
I would guess so.
So this came out in 2020, 2021?
October 2020.
Okay.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was filmed probably before the pandemic, I'm
2019, probably
guessing. Yes,
2018.
they probably did it right after Ready or Not.
Yeah.
Okay, pre-thoughts? Travis, go first, since you're the one who recommended it.
I found out about this movie, I think, online somewhere. I don't know if someone at a video store told me about it. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out. And then I watched it.
Wow.
That's actually very cool. Sam, your pre-thoughts were Travis told you to watch it?
I think I heard about it online as well, but then I think, I heard it from you too. And it was on, I think it was on Amazon at some point.
Yeah.
So
Was
that
it a
was
theatrical release?
It was October 2020.
So it's right
probably-
when theaters reopened for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, but not everywhere.
It was right before the second wave.
Yeah.
Right.
Or around the second
Remember
wave.
they
Yeah.
reopened and then they shut down again?
Yeah, though they didn't reopen in this area until
in LA,
until
they
like
were,
March.
In LA, they were
Oh,
gone for a
okay.
full
We were
year.
talking about it, and
Oh,
then
okay.
Yeah.
they scheduled people, and they're like, just kidding, stay home.
Have you seen the film before last night when you asked if it was okay to watch
it was
the film?
when, around that time.
And what were your pre-thoughts before? Just that you
I
had
never
read
heard
about
about it, but
No one
I like
did.
Adam Brody, so I didn't mind.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
This-
you like that, Adam
We'll,
Brody.
we'll wait for Frank and Dan, and then I got another pre-thought.
Go ahead, Frank. Pre-thoughts.
I didn't know what to expect. I kind of just based off the title, the first thing that came to me was, is this like one of those cult 80s movies that I just never watched? You know, like Kindergarten Cop.
Well, it was coming from me.
Yeah, that's why. And then when I looked into it and I saw, oh, okay, Adam Brody's in it. It's recent. The poster looks kind of like retro noir cool. I'll check it out. And then I watched
Did you just how many? You see it twice then? Or you just watched it once?
I watched half of it once, and then I watched the other, and then I watched it again in full today.
Okay.
Why did you only watch it half? Because you didn't like
we'll
it.
get into
that might
it
be
when we
pre.
talk
Yeah,
about
let's
the-
that's that
yeah.
pre.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Never heard of the movie. Travis said we're watching this movie. I didn't look at anything. Didn't look up anything. Just figured, okay. I mean, it sounds like a Nickelodeon TV show, but that's okay. I'm gonna watch it, knowing that Travis recommended it.
A little wary.
I figured, well, it's probably going to be kind of quirky. No, I mean, my first thought is going to be quirky. So, yeah. So that was it. I watched it.
That's the version of the story Dan tells. What really happened is I said, Dan, we're going to watch Kid Detective. Dan said no. I slapped him in the face, and he said, okay.
Why are you so violent today?
I don't know.
First you pushed me.
First of all, I said, don't tell that story because that's embarrassing for me.
I'm sorry. We'll
that
cut
you
that
slapped
out.
my face. And then I said, okay, I'll watch it.
No, we need people to know how mean Travis
He's
is.
a
I
very
am not.
aggressive and violent man. Yes. So, what were you going to say, Travis? You were going to say
I was
something.
going to say, I've recommended this movie to like a lot of people, or people have brought it up, and I always get that. People are like, oh, yeah, I've heard of it. I heard it's good, but I haven't seen it yet.
That's it. That's
That I was saying that's well, because we had been saying, oh, I've heard of it. I heard it was good.
Why did you want to watch it for the podcast?
That's a great question.
Thank you so much.
Because
He doesn't talk enough in this podcast. I just need him to talk.
No,
I think that's a legit question
it
because I
is,
thought
yeah.
of that when I was watching it.
yeah,
Why?
I was watching
no, not
it.
like I don't like it, but I was thinking this is a very curious. We need to watch this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to dip our hand into the skull today. We're going to do this movie.
It's well because it's a movie. Like I said, because it's a movie that I liked when it came out, but I don't know a lot of people that had seen it. And it's one of those where when I watched it in 2020, 2021, I'd seen a lot of movies around that time, so I remembered some of it, but not a lot. And I was just like, you know what? And I'll get into a little more later. I'll be like, I kind of want to talk about this movie. And I don't know. I just thought it would be. And I thought, you know what? It's a lot different from the movies I normally recommend.
And that's funny because after it ended, I was like, I don't guess Travis suggesting this movie because it's not a Travis movie.
I think that's what threw me off.
Mm-hmm. Like compared to everything
I
else
don't
that we've
disagree,
talked.
but it.
I mean,
While I was watching it, I was thinking, oh yeah, I can totally see why Travis
really.
liked this movie, and yeah, sure, yeah, it's very. Not to get into, I mean, it's very quirky. It has a very kind of offbeat sense of humor.
Very dark.
It is dark. I mean, I think it is definitely dark. And we can get into what it could have been versus what it was in terms of like.
Well,
But yeah, I got it. I mean, I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but
Well, I just like the joke. So in the beginning, so basically it's Adam Brody and it's telling the story of when he was a kid, a detective, and he was kind of like the neighborhood hero, and he was solving all these cases. And I think it was like one of the first kind of dark jokes it put into it was when the kid goes into his office and it's like, my dad has blood in his car.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know why. And then it just cuts to the dad being arrested.
right.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of mine. It kind of has like the dark sense of humor that I often enjoy
Mm-hmm.
in the movie.
It was cool seeing Adam Brody. I looked up after the movie. I looked up his resume and realized I think I've only seen him in Ready or Not in this. So I'm sure he's done a bunch of other things, but I don't have a real
Has
connection.
he?
I really liked him in Ready or Not. I thought he was a real standout in that movie. Not just his performance, but just, I thought his character was probably the most interesting character outside of the girl surviving. And so I thought, okay, this is cool. And I mean, I think that was good casting for the kind of movie they were making. I thought he did a good job. In fact, I thought the whole cast was actually well cast. I bought into all the people and who played them.
Same.
And the
It was
tone and all
Caroline,
that.
right?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah, I thought she was great too, and I kept wondering, who is she? She's great. So that was, yeah, it was cool seeing Adam Brody like
I think it
in
was
the lead of a movie, and you know he's kind of that. He's kind of quirky. He's good looking enough, if you know. I mean, like he's not like he's not like stunning, but he's like he wears a dirty beard well.
Yeah. He's got a look.
Yeah,
and
he's
that's
totally
what I said.
he has totally got a look.
And I think, and that's the perfect thing too. Like with the look he has kind of the ruggedy. It's like when it cuts from him in his prime to him like using the restroom and the roommate waiting, and you kind of see, oh, this is his life now. It's kind of from the way he looks. It's like it's like, oh, I know exactly what kind of life. I mean, it's very believable.
I liked the fact that he didn't live with his parents, although he could have totally lived in the basement of his parents' house, and I would have accepted these. I liked it better that he had the roommate, that situation, not because it made his life better, but it almost just kind of made it more like, this is just but still really pathetic.
Too, it's very clear, like it's not trying to hide that his roommate is also kind of like a loser, like like a deadbeat, but still at the same time, even though they're not doing anything to like oversell it, you're still kind of thinking like, oh, his roommate's the deadbeat, but he's the one who kind of has his life more.
With the roommate or
the
or
roommate
him has his life more?
Yeah, he's like, oh,
I
he's
agree.
actually doing things.
Like I'm having friends over. Are you gonna do
a
something?
little more, yeah.
Yeah.
A little above Adam
a
Brody's
little
life.
above. So, and that's what I think. I think this movie just like the subtle like visual cues like that. It doesn't try to like beat over your head.
But also, I feel like if he did live with his parents, it would add more to, like you said, the deadbeat aspect. And I don't think he would be more likable. I think it would seem like he's lazy.
Yeah.
So him being somewhat independent and
That's
on
true.
his own.
That's true. And also, you saw that sort of the scene in the dinner where he kind of goes off on his dad. So you saw that, sort of like, you don't really understand, If he had lived in his own parents' house, we'd all be going, yeah, dude,
Rolling
you're
our
just
eyes,
sucking
yeah.
off your parents. I mean,
Right.
whatever.
But, and that's the thing I think.
really like that scene.
I love the dinner scene. That's actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie, honestly.
Why, Dan?
Because it felt very real to me and very, I really understood the parents in this whole movie. I totally understood the mom. They're all trying to be supportive. They're trying to, but we're really starting to question, buddy, you're 32. It's not like you're on a career path here.
Yeah.
So I think they did a good job positioning the parents where they weren't just stupid, annoying parents like your stock parents against your stock loser guy. I thought it was actually pretty. Was layered in a kind of interesting way. Like at the first scene where they come and visit him at the house and they sit there. I mean, that's a really great sort of setup.
And then all the dishes are in there, and they see all the dishes, and he goes, "Oh, that's my roommate."
Yeah.
Or like that's not me. And,
I thought that was well done.
And that's what I said. And that's what I like. Because like I said, obviously, like you see this guy like Adam Brody doesn't have his life together, but it's not like totally. It's just kind of like, oh, he's just like stuck in the past. It's not like the couch potato. Like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like, it cuts to him. Oh, I'm eating Doritos and just playing Halo all day, with my friends. It's like, well, no, he goes to, like I said, in his daily routine, it's like, he goes to his office that has like the graffiti out front. It's dirty. He still has all those like frames from the cases when he was a kid.
Well, he basically got the keys from the city, from the mayor.
And
He got free ice cream. He's a guy who basically doesn't.
Well, he's
it's all set up for
and
him.
that's what I'm saying. His life peaked
Way
clearly,
too young.
way too young, and he's still.
When he was like 13.
And that's the thing. It's like living with that now, which is like
It's
interesting.
sad.
Well, that's the thing. It's like because the first thing I thought, kind of when watching this movie, I was like, whatever happened to the kids from Scooby Doo? Like when they got older, I'm like, what if they're all living?
But they don't get older. It's animation. They
well,
never
you know
grow
what
up.
I mean, though. Like
They
when
did
you,
in the movies.
Well, yeah. But Dan, you got what I'm saying.
I
though. Like
totally get
you
it,
always
yes.
have these movies like, oh, I'm the hero, the kid, and it's like, well, whatever happened to them?
But I think also they set up that tone fairly quickly ever since being like, okay, the mayor's daughter's missing now and he's kind of stuck in this age, and that sticks with you throughout the whole film where you feel
For
bad
sure.
for him. So I never from that point I'm like, oh, this movie is not going to be happy.
I mean, right. No, I agree. I only felt bad for him up to a point.
Up until what point?
Basically, when it got to that whole montage of heavy drinking and doing cocaine, I was like, okay, whatever.
That's you're like,
dude,
bottom,
come
rock
on, man.
bottom.
But I didn't feel bad for him anymore.
You know what? We're gonna make sure when we rewrite here and there, I'm gonna make Roger have
do a mountain
to have a
of
rock bottom.
Yeah, he's gonna do
Gotta do
coke
a
in the
rock
van
bottom.
with the producers. Oh my god! And
I
you're
can't
gonna be
wait.
there.
And then we'll film the movie.
It's going to be great. I want to ask you a question, Frank. No, I understand what you're saying, but I never felt bad for him. I think probably because it's just the tone of the movie and just the whole, and we'll get into the noir and all that in a minute. Frank, I wanted to ask you a question. Sam, you can also chime in on this. I'm not counting you out.
You're telling me to stop
I'm
talking.
not counting you out, but
I'll
You
take a
talk
break.
enough.
when I started watching the movie, and Sam for sure, I always, one of the first things I do when I watch movies, more for this podcast, where did they shoot this? That's what my first thought is. And it feels like these movies all look like they're shot in the same place, and it's all Canada.
Well, did you see the opening
Did
logos?
you know that? Like when you were watching it, like, oh yeah, this is that Canada small town that every movie watches in.
Well,
They all look the same.
I
And
actually did.
I can really see Canada now. You know how it used to be like movies, you'd always go, oh, that's the valley.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Southern California. It all looks
Yeah,
the
you
same.
don't
now it
notice.
all looks
you know
like
what?
Canada.
You know what gave it away for me?
No.
All those opening logos that were like brought to you by the Canada Board of something. It was like I was like, oh, is this a Canadian movie that was distributed?
But
like
so
a
many
US
of these
distributor?
movies now are
Oh,
shot
they all look
in
like
Canada. And
Canada.
they all look like that small town in Canada.
Yeah.
That
Well, I
little
mean, everything was
cozy town in
It's
Canada.
the only place
Everything
to
was
find
like-
a small town to film it.
I like it though because I feel like it reminds me of what we've been writing, especially the candy shop. What's his name? The dude, the ice cream shop.
store?
Yeah, like I feel like that's something we can like
Except I feel like our town is way smaller than this town even.
yeah, but like that ice cream shop's perfect.
Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't dislike it. I do start just going, oh,
So
Canada.
I liked speaking of the ice cream shop in the beginning when he's like, oh, I got free ice cream for life. And it shows him because, okay, so I thought they were going to do the joke. So it shows him, he walks in, it's a kid buying an ice cream, gives the kid a cone with the ice cream, and then he goes up. He's like, oh, I'd like butter pecan. And then I thought he was going to just reach in the back and give him like the littlest cup.
Yeah.
Or the littlest. But he actually gets like a full ice cream and just like,
But just like with the most
Well, I think it's
attitude.
funnier when he's an adult later,
that's what,
still
that's what I'm
getting the
saying.
free
No,
that's
ice
what I'm
cream.
saying. That's what I'm
Scene
saying.
Oh,
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
okay. Yeah, no, I thought that was actually really funny.
I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna
The
spit on it.
expression of the ice cream guy was just so great. Like,
oh,
I'm still
you.
giving you free ice cream.
32 is still getting ice cream.
Wow.
Did you guys get misled by the title? Like the Kid Detective for me, I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be a funny movie,
I think that was.
and then it was not funny.
I think
Well,
the moment that, like Travis said, he asked the kid, "Do you really want to know?" And it cuts to them taking away
Yeah.
the kid's dad. That's when I was like, "Oh, okay, it's gonna be like
I-
dark."
Different, right?
I think it was supposed to be funny. Whether you thought it was funny or not, this movie was supposed to be funny. In a dark, black.
Right, but I was thinking
not
like
even black, more than noir. It's like noir and
I was
making
thinking
it
more
funny.
like outright.
Right. But
was this going to be like an actual comedy? No, it wasn't.
I
that,
think
no.
too, that's the two. I think, like I said from the beginning, it frames himself as that, and that's what you think it's gonna be. But it's like, hey, like this is slightly different. The version you don't see, like even in the parts when he's with, when they're like investigating, and I think like every way when they like interview people or when he goes in is like just. Like he has like his own weird way of doing things, and it's
Yeah.
slightly different. Like
He
even
was quirky.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, when he goes in, and then they're like, she's like, why are you opening up a window? He goes, oh, anytime you go into a house, you got to open the window.
But I mean, it was using all the noir detective tropes. It was loaded with them, including the woman who shows up in his office who needs him to find the murderer of. It was, if you've never seen Maltese Falcon or The Big Sleep or all those Raymond Chandler movies back in the 30s with Humphrey Bogart, that's what this is.
Like even him
It
dressing
followed it almost exactly plot-wise in
Like
terms of
him
how it goes.
and
Yeah,
his like tweed jacket too.
yeah, everything about it.
loosely based.
He was
right.
just short of just, he wasn't smoking. That's the
Yeah.
only thing he didn't do was smoke cigarettes.
Fedora.
He should have
Pipe.
smoked cigarettes,
Oh,
honestly.
that's true.
So
A
there were-
bong. They had a bong.
One of
There
my
you go.
one of my favorite parts though in that was when she first shows up and he says, "You want some? Yeah, I'll have a water. Could you get her a
Oh, yeah.
water? Really? Yeah, really. Could you get a water?
From where?
Where am I getting it? Yeah, from where? From the store."
And then she
when she
walks
comes
in.
in and lays it down, I thought that was actually really funny.
Yeah.
But again, it was all. Watch any of those old movies. They all set up the same way. They all play the talk. Of course, it's always the narration. It's always talking about. It's always, and the dialogue, the wording is always very, flowery and dramatic, and You know, she had a pair of lips that would last through next Tuesday, or, you know, whatever.
What does that even fucking mean?
I don't know what that
but I mean,
it would be stuff like that, though.
I mean,
You kinda,
but we all know, like, that's not, like, the point of the movie. I mean, like I said, I think it purposely...
Dan,
not the-
he's telling you,
not the
Dan.
point of the movie.
no,
This
no.
was
What
a
you're
very
saying-
clear noir
no,
film.
no.
It
What
was
he's
totally
saying,
lifting.
what he's saying is that you need to calm down.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it's like,
You're
yeah, we
getting
understand.
carried away, okay? That's
like,
what
that's
he's
what I'm saying.
saying.
It's like, no, we all understand, like, yeah, it, like, kind of
We
sets
get it,
itself
Dan.
up as, like, a very generic, superficial...
Watch
I'm like,
film noir.
I'm like, it's
Dan,
more...
you're being hysterical.
I'm sorry.
But I'm saying I think the film, you know, it's like more about him, like, you know, it's more about a character piece about him, like, coming to terms of who he is. And whereas I was like, I don't
As
think.
are those movies.
Well, but I'm saying I don't think, like, with the way that it was setting up, I don't think the movie was like saying, "Oh, I'm doing something new." I don't think it was trying to do anything new.
No. I'm not. Oh, hang on. Let me reverse here,
Back
buddy.
it up,
You're
back
being-
it up.
Now you're being very defensive.
You're being
I was
defensive.
not putting the movie down for that. I was just
He was
saying
saying- yeah.
it very clearly was using
Oh,
that
yeah.
style in every way. Humphrey Bogart is a super flawed character in all those movies. Needs to overcome something, just like this character. So it wasn't just by accident. They this
yeah.
director / writer, whatever, very specifically used this concept and all those tropes to make this movie. He also, in a dark way, kind of made fun of them a bit.
Yeah.
That's what made it witty.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not. To me, that's one of the strengths of the movie. That's not one of the weaknesses.
Can I tell you my favorite scene?
No.
Okay.
Anyway,
When he went to the stoop or the steep, what is it?
The
stoop.
stoop.
The stoop.
With the
Kids on the
When
stoop.
he was on the ego booster, and then he finally went, and then he just knocked them out. And that was
Yeah.
my favorite part.
and then throws him in the gun through the creek. I thought that was great.
Right, and then he went to the bar, and then he walks in and goes, we need to talk about Peter. And they're like, no. Okay.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying, that dark humor, and even I like it too, like where they set it up to when they're at the stoop, and then the kid's like, "Fine, I'll tell you where I got the drugs." It's like, go to the ice cream guy, tell him
You have a headache.
a headache, and then you think, oh, okay, like it's one of these noir.
But he sends the
yeah,
girl
and then he
and
sends
not
the girl,
even him.
and then she comes back right away. He's like, what
really
happened?
awkward.
She's like, I said I had a headache, and then he like didn't say anything, and it was really awkward. So
So
then
he
I
got
just
ice
left.
cream.
So I give me ice cream, so I left.
I got you this.
Yeah, I think the editing is done really well in this film.
And then when the bouncer was like, I'll be taking this candy bar. There's a peanut allergy. That
Oh,
was
the
funny.
peanut allergy entrance was great. Yeah. No, there was
What
some funny stuff
What did we
in it
think
for
about,
sure.
like, what was it, the after schoolers, or what do they call them? Like the ones that just hang out in the school.
Overnighters?
The overnighters.
I really
that
wonder if
didn't
that's
totally work for me. I think I kind of
I thought
got
it was
where it was
funny.
funny, but it didn't.
It kind of seemed like it didn't do anything.
It didn't quite work for me. Because
Quite.
also I kind of feel like that's not a thing.
You don't know that.
Oh yeah, well your dad's gay.
I love that line.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
He's like, oh, we got
What
to be
happened? What
professional.
happened?
Yeah, well, your dad's gay. One of the guys.
So one of his minor mysteries is this gay guy's trying to find out if some other guy is gay, and they set it up earlier, and he's like, "Yeah, kinda." So when they go to
The butcher shop.
the butcher shop to interview this kid, like 2 seconds in, he's like, "You don't know what you're doing." And he's
The
like,
kid's
"Oh yeah,
saying
well
that,
your
yeah.
dad's gay."
I also love the part where he goes back to the mom's house for the daughter who's missing. She says, "Did you find my cat?" He goes, "Actually, I totally forgot. I was
Totally
supposed
forgot
to do
about
that."
Yeah, and then it gets sad. And then it gets sad. Then the end of the scene when he's looking in her room, the girl's room, and then she goes, "Can you please find my cat? I'm really lonely." I was like, oh.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of really quirky, funny moments like that. Like when near the end when he's under the bed, what turned out to be the bad guy, and he goes, "You're in the closet." Actually, I'm under the bed. I mean, that was
But even before that, the closet scenes were pretty funny. When he was
the
stuck
closet
there.
scene in that house was actually one of my favorite sequences. How am I getting out of this house? And then, of
Right.
course, he doesn't get out of the house. It's very,
Like I
very
said, and then it just cuts to him and like the sheriff in the police
Right.
station.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing that's why I had to watch it twice, because the first time I watched it, I didn't expect what I was given. So about halfway through, my attention
Elsewhere.
was already not barely there, but like I lost it completely. So I had to rewatch it this morning, and this time, knowing kind of where it's going, I was able to focus in more.
So
And even then, though, I will say, I wasn't sure where I stood on the movie when it ended. Like, there was parts that I liked, but I didn't know if I liked it or not.
Oh, there's. I have plenty to say about a lot of other things.
Frank,
still, this is all us being nice to the movie
we
right
haven't
now.
gotten down to
So
the
Frank, when you were watching it the first time, was it when we had to watch it for the podcast, or was this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Were you not listening?
No, I hadn't seen it
Well,
before.
that's what I was for a second. I was like, oh, wait a minute, was it another? Okay.
you
I
listening
actually thought the same thing as you. I thought Frank had watched it like a couple of years ago and
That's what
just didn't get through it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, this movie also reminded me of a Hitchcock movie that was made in the mid-'70s. It was called Family Plot. Have you ever heard of it, Travis?
I think I've heard the name.
So it was one of his later films. Bruce Dern was in it, Karen Black, Barbara Harris, but Bruce Dern was in it. And it was a very kind of a quirky murder mystery, very Hitchcockian in the way. And this was, well, not really, but this was kind of like Hitchcock trying to make a kind of fun sort of murder mystery. And Bruce Dern plays a private detective who's got a lot of flaws. He's trying to get his life together. And it's like this, kind of funny. It's kind of dark.
Interesting.
And doesn't totally work, but at the same time, it's kind of fun while you're watching it. I felt a very similar kind of vibe from it. Yeah,
Interesting.
This movie kept reminding me of that
We'll
movie.
put it on the list.
I was
No,
going
I
to
don't
ask. I was
think
going to
so.
ask you.
We don't have to. We saw this movie.
This will be the sequel to The Kid Detective.
But I mean, it had
Sequel.
that same feel to it. If you ever run across it when you just happen and watch, you'll see what I mean. You'll go, oh yeah, this is that same kind of feel. Yeah.
Not to like diss on Hitchcock though. I recently found out he's kind of a fucking asshole,
But
That might be true. Yeah.
I think that points out something that was another thing that didn't really work for me the first time I watched it. Is that balance? I think it's kind of hard to find or to nail the balance between comedy and drama as is, but then this movie's comedy is a little drier than usual.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
it's very
you
dry.
might not pick up on it right away, and that might really like
You may not pick it up as comedy.
yeah, and it might influence the way you first receive it. So I get why the Hitchcock one didn't work.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
don't-
really work.
I don't
Even
think
though
he's
it's
very
kind of
funny.
fun when you watch it. It just doesn't really
I
work.
don't see him doing comedies.
Yeah,
like, ever.
I don't think he's very funny.
I will say this. I agree with you, but the closest he came to like a really fun adventure kind of movie is North by Northwest,
Yeah.
which was Cary Grant, made like in the mid-'50s. That's a really fun movie. And if I showed you that film and didn't tell you who directed it, you would have never guessed it was Hitchcock. You would have gone, wow, this is really fun. It's got a lot of humor. It's got a lot of action. It's got a lot of not miscommunication, identity. What do you call it?
Mistaken identity.
Mistaken
Is it-
identity, things like
I fell
that.
asleep watching
Is
that.
it? Oh,
Oh, you watched it?
was
Yeah.
no?
Oh,
Was
wow.
it?
Well, it's the 1950s.
I know
It's,
you texted me about it. What was it? Was it North by Northwest? What was it like? The arrow.
Oh no, Vertigo. Vertigo is one of my
Vertigo.
favorite Hitchcock
Oh,
films.
that's James Stewart. That's a great movie.
They were showing it.
They're gonna show it. It's this coming weekend.
That
No,
to
it's
me is one
done.
of his very best movies.
Yeah, I agree. It's like two movies in one, but it's still
I
so
to-
scary.
It's so scary. It's such a cool idea.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a cool movie. Rear Window is also
a good one, too.
really
That
great
one got me
film.
freaked
where
out.
you witness the murder. That's such a
I only
cool
saw the
movie.
Shia LaBeouf version.
But no, North by Northwest, I get it, whether you fell asleep. But I mean, I was trying to point out that he
Right.
has made, like 39 Steps, he made one of his
July.
early movies. A lot of fun.
What? No, North
But
by
yeah,
Northwest.
generally that's
That's
not
what I
how
was
you think
saying.
of Hitchcock
Vertigo.
for sure.
No.
Okay.
But
I
we got
thought
off
you sent this.
we got off the course. Hitchcock would have made this movie. Oh, he did. It's called Family Plot. Go ahead. Yeah.
No,
So that's the
no,
most famous scene in the
I'm
movie.
saying
No,
I'm
no, no,
saying
no.
the Egyptian theater. They have a new 70mm restoration
Ooh, that'd
of
be
the
fun to
film
watch.
that they're gonna play.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
The problem with those movies, because of all the action and stuff, you're gonna look at so much blue screen or green screen, and it's just so
but the movie's good
not
though.
looking
Yeah.
good now. You know, you kind of go, oh God, you could have done this and look way better now.
But I mean, I sometimes I feel like the film's good. I'm into it. Sometimes I feel like I kind of overlook it a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like my
Try.
brain will like process it more. Like I said, because I mean, you can have like scenes that like, And I think it's why I'm sorry, I don't mean to go on this side tangent, but it's like why I think like some people say like now like too much CGI or CGI could be bad. I think it's like, well, if the scene itself is just shot poorly, it like doesn't matter.
Right.
Like boring like you have, and I think that's what it is with a lot of times. It's like, you know, with the CGI people are like it's bad. It's like, well, the scene's shot really poorly that the CGI of it like it sticks out.
I think the quality
like
of the movie
physics,
itself
like
can
the blocking.
overcome
I feel
that.
like if it's bad blocking and it's poor, it doesn't matter. Like even if you have state of the art, it's still gonna. I don't know. Like
I say, bring back miniatures and matte paintings.
Yeah. I was watching.
I want claymation to come back.
They still have it. They're doing a new Wallace and Gromit movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there was some in stop motion.
Is it going to be an IMAX?
Was that good?
I'd love to see IMAX claymation.
I think they did it.
Oh my God, they did it.
No,
that
they
was
did
a joke.
No, they. Oh no.
They did it. And
they did.
You're in it.
I think that one Tim Burton movie. What was it? Frankenweenie. I think that was an IMAX.
You said weenie.
Frankenweenie. Frank Sweeney.
Franken-Sweeney.
You said it, not me.
Anyway, so
all right, moving on. What was the movie?
The Kid Detective.
Oh, Kid Detective, right?
So how did you guys feel when the principal, like, when the reveal?
Did you figure it out when
I didn't,
Adam?
honestly.
No, I'm saying as the character Adam Brody when he figured out like when he got in there. Did you figure it out when he did?
No, one of these things like sometimes I just don't. I let it happen. I don't try to figure it out. I just ride along.
How involved in the storyline was the principal to lead you to that conclusion? Would be my question.
That's true because he was only in it once. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about your what are you not pleased with? Is that
you think
part
it just came out of nowhere?
No, I think I'm just gonna say that's one of the tropes in detective mysteries, murder mysteries that has been around since the beginning. All through those movies
He's not talking shit.
It's always a white guy.
No, this is like a fact.
Yeah.
And that is, well, hell yeah, if I had that information, I could have figured this out too. You rarely do you get enough information to resolve a mystery on your own. And rarely do you see a movie where you go, oh yeah, okay, sure, that makes sense now, because they don't usually give you enough information on that character or that character's journey to let you come to that mysterious, and it all unfolds at the end. That scene, sitting there, him explaining everything, that is such an old-fashioned detective murder mystery trope.
Very
They sit there,
Columbo.
I'm going to sit here now. Difference, though, in Columbo is he explains
Yeah.
But in those shows, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to bring Columbo. In Columbo, as he does it, you go, oh, yeah. You actually start going, yeah, you're right. You don't go,
The
well,
recall,
hell yeah.
yeah.
If I'd have known that. You didn't do that ever in those shows. You went, oh, my God. Yeah, I remember that. I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
He's right. That is how it happened. That's better writing, honestly.
Yeah. And then looking back, though, like the principal did stick out like a sore thumb because every interaction he's had, aside from the principal, it's always had like that quirkiness. But with him, it was straight up just sad.
It kind of tells you in the beginning of the movie,
when
too.
She looks in the car. We don't see who's in the car, but she obviously knows somebody in the car. So we know whoever kidnapped her is somebody she knew.
Yeah.
Or trusted, rather.
And there's a very, very big hint. I mean, like I said, your first time watching it, you'll never figure it out. But there's a big hint, too, in the beginning of the movie when he's explaining that, oh, yeah, when I was a kid and we would watch movies with my parents, I would always figure it out.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, it was the bald guy. Well, the principal was the bald guy in this movie.
Okay, no one is going to figure that out as a clue.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm saying
how
it's
did
a
you
hint.
On the
tease that?
face of this
I'm not
earth.
saying hinting. I'm just saying it's a little Easter egg foreshadow. I'm not saying it'll make you figure it out, but like the second time watching it, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, yeah, there's no way you can figure it out. I'm just saying it's a little Easter egg.
That's why I didn't try. I just watched the movie. I was like, I'm not going to try to figure this out.
I honestly didn't try
I didn't either.
but once I figured out what I was watching, I just watched the movie. I didn't try to figure it out because I knew I wasn't going to figure it out.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be all explained to me at the end. I knew, oddly, in the middle of the movie, I went, why is this movie rated R? What did they do to make this R, and could have they gotten rid of it? Because this did not need to be rated R.
There was some
probably the
language in
drug
there.
use.
And
You
the
didn't
language.
need- and you didn't need the cocaine scene, and you
But I
didn't
think
need that.
also,
I
like,
think you did.
the content
don't.
of like
Not to whatever happened.
No,
Nothing
and the
came out of it. It
photographs
was so
that
stupid.
that
It was up
too,
at-
but
and-
also the content of what happened to the missing girl Gracie.
Gracie, yeah.
Which
but I feel like there are detective shows on TV that dance around all that stuff without really.
well, when the
and
principal
it works.
when the principal pretty much said that, oh, I did stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which and then that scene of
Totally got that.
I
yeah.
never thought, oh, she's still around.
Oh, I know.
So when they
No, me neither.
when they revealed that she was in the shed, it was creepy, and I completely forgot about it the first time I'd seen it. So I was like, what's in the shed?
Well,
And then it was just, what's going on there?
I wish it had been Anthony Hopkins making fava beans.
Well, and then because even like Adam Brody like doesn't want to believe it too because he kind of goes to the shed and he looks and it's kind of opening the door, but he like doesn't
Yeah.
look at because he's like, oh, he knows she's in there because of the soda pop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only that,
That's
but
why he goes out
Yeah,
there.
well, I was saying, so
Right.
he knows it, but he doesn't want to accept it.
But
like his other's
I
like,
thought
don't
it was
wanna.
more of like when he looked at the grape soda, it was more like, oh, nostalgia.
No,
wasn't
because
he
she
like
would always-
smiling
no,
a
no,
little
no, no,
bit?
no.
I
But-
know
yeah.
she was drinking because she gets paid in grape soda, but like I thought
That's
it was because
fucking
it was
weird.
nostalgia.
It's interesting because when he opened it up and he started drinking the soda, then looked in and saw the whole refrigerator full of them, I didn't know that, but I went, oh shit, he just figured something out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that also could because the shot showed him in his face that he figured something out.
Because
That might have helped me a
he
little
closed
bit.
the fridge first and then he opened it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Because he remembered.
It was a light bulb moment. Get it?
Because the light bulb.
I
Light
thought that
bulb.
was a great twist that she was still alive and in the shed.
And then there was
I thought
another
that was really
twist, and
then-
interesting.
Then there was the other twist.
Help me,
Oh, Gracie being the daughter.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
was
No, sorry,
Mom.
not Gracie. Caroline.
Caroline
Yeah.
being the
Yeah.
daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, it just the principal revealing what happened was sad, but everything after just got worse, got more depressing.
and that's why I totally feel like that would have been me, like Adam Brody at the ending when his parents visit.
Oh, yeah,
and he
just
just starts
crying.
crying. I was
Yeah.
like, that
That
would have
was a-
totally,
that
that
was-
would have totally probably been me too.
That was a great ending. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked how
I
that
got
happened.
the ending. It didn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look it up online, there's a lot of talking about that ending.
Really?
Like, what are they saying?
Just questioning it.
why he's crying?
wondering.
I think his
I
crying.
mean, to me, it was very clear. I had
yeah,
no.
I didn't.
I
I
agree.
never went. Why is he crying?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was a question when I googled it to like look up stuff.
Yeah.
The first thing is, why did he cry at the
Yeah,
end? Like,
no, there's-
really? Okay.
Right, he spent all his whole life blaming himself for not finding Gracie and the whole town relying on him, and now that he finally figured it out.
And then found out what all that.
He
Right,
doesn't
that's-
want-
it's like a relief, but also, yeah, like crap.
But
she
for
went
the
through
kind,
all of that.
But for the kind of movie it was,
Mhm.
for the quirkiness of the movie, for the humor of the movie, whether we thought it was funny or not, that's a interesting ending
Mhm.
to go with that kind of movie.
I actually liked how
I did too.
liked the route that it went.
I think it's because you like depressing stuff.
I did too.
do.
Because like,
I didn't. Again, it didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt the movie, but I
Right.
questioned would that be the ending I would
how
come
would
up
you like
with.
it to end?
Yeah.
I think something quirky had to happen at the end. Honestly,
Just to
'cause
match,
that's
like
what
a
the
full
whole movie.
circle?
That's what the movie is. I mean, you can't suddenly.
I just think
I'm
it,
not gonna be quirky anymore.
Well, I
now
took-
I'm just gonna be really
I don't
sad.
know, it took a-
I'm gonna make this sad.
it took a dark turn, and if it for it to go back
It
to
did
quirky,
because it never got there. It was never that. I don't care if he did cocaine. He ended up in a trash bin. That's funny. That's not like, that's so sad. He's that trash bin. I looked at it going, what
Wow.
the fuck?
Trash
I'll do
bin.
trash.
I also
Naked
kind of went,
in a
why,
trash bin?
why are we doing this?
Oh no!
I don't need to go to. I don't need any of this to explain to me what's going on. I get it.
And I think-
you're a loser, dude. You've been a loser since you were 13. I don't need the cocaine bin. I found that really just a weird left turn that went nowhere after it was done.
I think that's around the point where I wasn't sure where I stood on the movie because I couldn't put it into words until you just mentioned it now, but I think it did a little too like one or two too many scenes of like, oh, this guy's down on his luck.
I
he's
agree.
depressed. He's a loser. It's like I got the point, but sometimes it felt like the movie was reminding you. And
Giving it too much.
yeah,
But we
like
got
and
at the point in the first scene when his parents go to visit him in his house. We get it right away. He is not what he was. I don't need to go down any further. I need you to kind of get your life together and figure out this case.
Yeah.
I didn't need him to go in a downward spiral to go back to
I
the
would have
case.
liked a little
I
more
need a little more plot.
investigating in the middle and a little
Thank
more
you.
rapid fire.
Mm.
Like,
Thank you.
like
Why was he down in the dumps again? What happened before that?
Because
it was after the
When they-
party, right?
no, it's because he got. It was
Caught?
when he got caught in the.
Gotcha.
Which again, that
closet?
was so funny and
Yeah.
so quirky and so cool. And then even that whole scene with the police chief, you know,
Mhm.
it was just like, don't do that anymore. I mean, it played the way that played. I thought was funny, and then all of a sudden it turned into I'm just gonna go on a cocaine binge now.
Ugh.
Made no sense to me. But hey, go ahead.
What's up?
But I got, let's keep going.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like I think with the I like the underlaying of this like psychological traumatic character who's trying to overcome basically like his biggest failure at 12. It's like fucked up.
Which
but-
is funny. I mean,
But it's layered with a lot
Honestly.
of that dry humor. I would have liked a little more of a rapid fire segment in the middle. Like you know that feel of constantly moving in the Ocean's 11 movies where it's never like, even if it's just a tiny scene of two people talking, it's paced in a way where I'm not bored. And I feel like that happened a little too much in the middle. Like the beginning, the setup, I loved. The ending, loved. The middle is where I had like a little bit of a disconnect and a problem, like staying in touch with the movie because it just felt like we were doing the same thing over
it
and
got,
over.
it got a little bit where are we going here?
Yeah,
That was just interesting because I feel like I don't want to say the opposite, but I don't know when I don't remember how it was the first time, but when I watched it the second time, I remember like I think the first time I paused it because I had to do something. It was like 30 minutes in. I was like, oh, already, and then basically from the part where he was sneaking into the closet, from there till the ending of the movie just flew by. That felt like 10 minutes to me.
Well, the movie.
To me, the movie kind of flew by for
Yeah,
what it was.
interesting.
Like, I don't know why. I just felt like I was like, oh, that's it. It's done. I mean, then again, it's not a very long movie. It's like an hour
No.
25, hour 30. Something
It's
like an
hour
hour 30.
39,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, like
The movie moves along okay in terms of I don't feel like I'm going, oh my God, I've been watching this movie forever.
No.
But at the same time, I felt like there needs to be more going on here. We need more. We need more plot going on. We need more twists and turns here. I'm sorry. We're just sort of languishing through. We're just kind of like la di da through this
I
thing.
didn't feel that because
I
I
didn't
feel
either.
like it was somewhat a slow pace from the beginning.
Mhm.
So I didn't feel like it needed to be rushed because it was set up as like not a slow burn, but it still just wasn't fast paced. So I didn't mind it, but I get what you mean. Like it would have made things a lot more interesting
Maybe a couple
leading up
little
to the reveal.
I
couple
think
little action sequences, not
Yeah.
fights or anything, but just something that a little more like, oh, whoa, hey,
Yeah.
maybe.
to
maybe not.
steal a word from work, I felt like there was a lack of urgency in finding.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that's
And I
such
think-
that's such a triggered
Right.
phrase.
Your sense of urgency is lacking.
Yeah, you need to
But
move
you know what I mean?
faster.
You
with
know
a
what I mean?
sense of
Like,
yeah.
I don't need it to be fast paced. I just need it to. Well, I mean, I guess in this case I kind of did, but I think it's more because I've seen a lot of noir movies, so
Right.
I know what it is, and I'm looking for something a little different.
I-
And it didn't really reinvent the wheel, and I didn't need to, but I just needed a little bit
Yeah.
more flavor.
I think that sequence, like in the house when he's hiding in the closet and stuff, that was really a fun sequence. That had some tension, like, well, how are you going to get the hell out of this
Yeah.
house?
Yeah.
It needed another scene or two, different than that, but of that same style, to
Yeah.
stay with what the movie is, which is a frickin' noir detective story. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You can't, you can, and I think it does follow it. I just think it maybe could have had a couple more of those kind of moments. Just maybe one more. Maybe that would have been it. Travis, you've stopped talking. Have we disappointed you
No, I'm
deeply?
just listening.
No, he's just narrowing his eyes at you.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
He's like, I
my
should
tires,
never-
My tires will be slashed in the morning.
It's fine. You don't even know my
It's
general
fine. If
opinion
you
of the
don't
movie.
like the movie, that's fine.
No, you don't even know my
I haven't even gotten into whether I liked it
That's
or
what
not.
I'm saying. You don't. For all I know, I can be like, yeah, I watched it the second time. I didn't like it at all.
I will lay every dollar in my pocket. You will not say that.
You don't have any dollars in your pocket.
I have plenty.
Oh,
He already checked.
So, are we at a final thoughts? I think
I think so.
I think we are
Yeah.
because I think
I think
otherwise we're just
so.
circling the
I think so.
airport.
All right. Go ahead, Dan.
Do you want me to go first?
I can go first because mine's really,
I'm
really
I
short.
have stuff to say. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm really short. I didn't even write anything down.
Oh, I did.
You are really short.
That's
Thank
the only
you
thing I really
so
wrote
much.
down was my final thoughts.
So, I like this movie. You don't have to like this movie, but I like this movie.
Oh my god! I have been waiting for the day that Sam actually did that joke.
But no, I
What
don't.
joke?
You're a joke. I don't have anything special to say. I mean, I enjoyed it because it is quirky but also sad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my type of thing. I don't think I'll recommend it to people. I don't think I'll watch it again for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I give it 3.8 ego boosters out of 5.
Wow, 3.8. That's a very strong scoring. Not that I'm
Nice.
trying to give anything away.
I think Frank should go.
Don't tell
I
me
mean,
what it.
you're definitely
But
going to
go.
wrap it.
Yeah.
Because I
Rat,
can't wait
rat,
to hear what you're going
rap.
to say. I may have to go potty before that, though. Go ahead.
You know,
Frank,
yeah.
do you want to go? Do you want me to go? Whatever. I don't care.
I don't have to go potty, so I'll go. I like this movie. I do actually.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Brick a little bit. I had,
I was gonna bring that up.
Rick is
however,
Ryan Johnson.
Knives Out.
I think
His-
that's
I
he
love
did-
the
he-
Ryan
that's
Johnson.
His, that's
I love
his
that.
noir film.
his.
Brick.
Yeah, it was like a
High school.
noir film set in a high school with Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the lead. It was very good. However,
We'll watch that next week.
Hang on. How long has Ryan Johnson been making movies?
A long,
long
time.
time.
That was
Time.
one of his,
Why
his
is
first
Knives Out was
films.
his big? Felt like it
It
was
took
his
a
big
while. I
mainstream
think it was because
breakout.
of the
He did.
cast.
His breakout was actually the one. Well, good
Oh,
and bad.
Looper?
Have
No,
I heard of it?
I was gonna say
Looper?
Looper was there.
Oh,
and then-
he did Looper.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
there was
I
the
actually
whole,
liked Looper.
and then there was the whole, that Star Wars movie he did,
Oh, yeah.
which
the only good one of the sequel
I'm
trilogy.
a fan of Johnson.
Which one?
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Okay, so this guy made all those movies before he made Knives Out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he made some. He's really good at like mystery. There's this other one called
I agree.
Brothers
Yeah.
Bloom.
Oh,
with-
that was my first
heard that was
movie.
good.
yeah, Ruffalo, Adrian
Wow.
Brody,
And
Rachel
Rachel
Weisz.
Weisz.
Rachel Weisz.
I'm loving
That's
it.
so good.
Loving
Yeah,
it.
that was the first movie of his I
I
watched.
dig the guy's
Honestly,
sense
he's
of mystery
delivered.
telling and his humor. I love
Yeah.
his humor.
He's delivered every single fucking time. Every time.
Except for Knives
Okay, I agree with you. I don't
I
know.
like
Including
Knives Out.
Star Wars.
Out. No, Glass Onion.
I liked Glass Onion.
I
and
liked
you
it
did
too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was really good.
I was
Yeah, and if
okay
you
with
don't
it.
like it,
I-
you're wrong.
No,
The new one, actually, not to get off course, but the new one, I just read the whole breakdown of the new one. It sounds actually could be really fun.
I have an
Yeah.
issue with Glass Onion, but I'll tell you outside of the podcast.
Anyway,
We've already talked about Glass Onion.
I think going back to the Brick comparison, I feel like that may have also hurt my initial
You
impressions
kept
on
trying
it.
to compare it or
Yeah,
thinking about
because
it.
Brick had style, and
That was a
and
true noir one for
and
sure.
it was definitely like it was true noir. It had style, and it was compact. It was like it just the way it did things
Gets to
was
the point.
pitch perfect
Yeah.
for me. This movie meanders
Hey, I
a
see
little
what you
bit.
did.
I feel like this movie meanders a bit, and that's what really hurts it for me. But it does have a great setup, I feel, and it has a really good ending. It's very dark, but it still keeps the humor aspect of it. Like, all in all, I didn't feel like I wasted my time, but I don't think I'll watch this movie again. And I love Adam Brody, so I do like that he was the lead. All the actors were good. The cinematography was good. I really noticed they did a lot of composition with mirrors, which I found really, really interesting, especially the scene where he's trying to get out of the house and he goes down the stairs and then he goes back up. There's like two mirrors and then like the mirror in the center, like kind of angled. It's just really, really cool composition there. I mean, there's not, at the risk of saying it in an insulting way, there's not much more to say in terms of like anything special. But
Damn,
it
Travis.
was good.
What would you score it? And then I'm going to go potty.
I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 beating up children at the stoop.
I really like that scene a lot. I thought
That's,
it was
that's,
really well
that's,
done.
Children
that's
were
a
beat
good
up.
score, yeah.
At the stoop.
He really did get beat up, though. He got thrown in the river. He got tossed.
When he got tossed in the river, I was like, yes. I've always wanted to do that.
Get tossed
Yes. And be at the river.
at the same time.
Okay.
Dan, can you, go?
I will tell you, there was a lot that I really liked about this movie, but it felt like a really good beginning to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't feel like the beginning as a movie. All I kept thinking was, this is a great pilot idea for a TV series. If this had been the 1980s or 1990s, this would have been a TV series. Think about it. Kid detective. Now he's, still living in small town. He's grown up. And then he cracks that first case. And it's like Monk. It's like all those shows. It's always about a quirky guy and his quirky past. And now, this is a great idea for a TV series back then. Unfortunately, now you would not make this TV series. But back then you could have. And it probably would have done really well. And I could see where there's a lot of tread on the tires of a series like this, where you could really, think about all the plots and all the different things that week to week you could do with this idea and with this character, this guy who's, he is what he is. So you're gonna keep treading back to his background, his childhood, and his future, and people from the past. And I just think that's the best thing this movie had to offer, was it would have been a great pilot for a TV series. To me, as a standalone movie, it just feels very incomplete as an idea. As the potential of what it really could have developed into. So, I was never bored. I wanted more out of it in terms of just a few more twists here and there. I thought Adam Brody was great. Again, great casting. I thought the whole cast was really good. I can't really say anything against the direction. It looked good. It was shot well. But I don't know. I got about halfway into it and thought, this is at best, this is a pilot for a TV show. So I'm going to give it 2.9.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, he gave it 3.
It's still in the threes.
2.95. What was it? I had actually a good thing. What was it? I'm surprised nobody else did it.
Travis gonna go home and cry.
Origami.
No.
Origamis out of 5.
That's a
I
good
did
one.
like the origami twist. I thought the origami twist was actually really good. But it's also very TV show.
I'm racist.
The whole plot was very TV show.
Yeah.
Like the way that played out. It had a very TV show feel to it. I'm not gonna let you talk.
I was like, I'm racist. Remember, it was like with Caroline, where she's like, actually, that's origami's Japanese.
She's like, I'm a racist.
That's right. Anyway, that's my feeling.
Well, they're wrong, and Travis will tell you why now.
No.
Travis is going to rate it 1 out of 5,
How
surprising
did you
us
know?
all.
No, Frank. See, that's the thing.
I
And when
tricked you all.
That's the thing. I'm trying to play this up. So
I
when you
picked the movie I hate the most to see
Dan.
what you guys would say.
Dan, start taking your wallet out, because, like I said, I saw this the first time, and I liked it a lot. And then I was like, okay, let me do this. And then
You
I was
don't like
watching
it?
it the second time, and I was like,
no.
and I was like, I really don't like this movie.
What?
No, I'm totally kidding.
Oh, too bad.
So-
Because that would have been hilarious if you were like,
no,
this movie sucked, man.
No, but I do. Okay, so Frank, I agree with what you said. Where it's like, I feel like, like I said, it has a very strong beginning. Dan kind of said it has a very strong ending. I see what you mean with the middle. Like I said, no surprise, I like the movie, but I don't know if I'm looking too far into it, Dan. I kind of feel like you keep saying, oh, it's set up like a pilot, it's set up like a TV show. I kind of think it's almost intentional, where it's trying. I like that this movie was made now and not back in the 80s and 90s, when you had a bunch of movies and TV shows like this, where it was always like, oh, it's a happy ending for everyone. This town's happy. And then ever since we solved the mystery, nothing bad in this town ever happened again. And I like it now, where it's like, okay, I'm older and I see it. It's like, well, you never see the dark side of these stories, like, ever. And, that's what I thought. And that's what I kind of liked about it. I like that it just kind of ended so grim. And I don't know, I don't remember how I felt the first time, but I just remember the second time just kind of, watching this movie, and halfway through, I just got kind of, really kind of depressed a little bit. I was like, oh, actually, this movie's hitting me hard. this second time around.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I
and
don't
then
either.
I remember like when the movie ended, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, hold on, I need a minute. I was just like, that was something. That was an experience. I mean, not to say like I was taken back, like where I was like, oh my god, like this movie's so good, like it floored me. It wasn't in that. It was just, I don't know, just I think some of the themes of the movie and yeah.
Yeah, no,
But I would
agree.
argue that in the 90s, especially, you had those TV shows that did end like that, an episode that would end like that and would be dark and would be going, oh wow, this is so deep, and it's TV doing this.
You mean like that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
Yeah,
episode?
Why doesn't he love me?
No, but I'm serious.
Why does he want me? Well,
Seriously.
yeah.
So I would argue that it still feels like TV, even with that ending. That could have been a TV ending
Yeah.
for a pilot. I'm not saying it's an insult. I would have
Oh,
loved
no,
for
no,
this
no,
been
no.
a series. I would have watched it every week.
And- no.
and I'm serious. I thought it was a super cool, quirky character. I would have watched that guy solve murders every week in that little town, or where
Yeah.
After a while, you
Canada.
just kind of go, how many murders can there be in this little town?
3.
I was gonna say yourself 3 murders, over 200 cases.
When he said that, I was like,
You're lying.
you
That's a horrible way to lie.
I've saw 3 before.
3.
It was definitely 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How would you score it?
I would score it.
5 out of 5.
No, I'm at a very maybe like 3.8.
Copycat.
Okay.
Copycat.
Like 3.8, 3.9, like cookies because she has no friends.
Missing on the cookies.
Remember they were like
No,
oh,
they were cupcakes.
oh
They
the
were
cupcakes. I'm
cupcakes.
sorry, the
Oh,
cupcakes.
dude.
She's not very
This
popular.
was your movie.
I didn't make it.
I did like it when he went back in the house and ate the cupcake. I actually thought
I
that
didn't
was
make.
really
Did
funny.
I make this movie?
Okay, I'm trying to give you
Dan,
some
did you look at
kudos
the
here.
credits?
Oh my god.
Some kados.
No, I wish you would have made the movie because then I could have been in it.
Damn.
That's funny. Anyways.
So anyway, next week.
What are we not going to pull out of this skull
No,
this
Dan,
week?
you
and
know
what? Are
what?
we
Go
gonna
ahead.
watch?
Go ahead. You
Actually,
keep saying
yeah,
Why are you
Dan.
Dan,
yelling?
pull out of the
What
hat.
is
Dan,
happening?
I want you to damn us all, so you get to choose the
Damn
next
you
movie.
The
all.
Danening.
He picks climax. Watch.
Oh, he does. I'm leaving. I walk.
Well, we'll just put
If
it
he
back
picks
in
it, you're
if nobody wants to
climaxing.
watch it. What are the odds that this is not a slasher movie?
All right. Seven Samurai.
I say 20% slasher.
Dancer in the Dark.
No,
Oh, shit.
no. I
Oh,
can't
yeah,
do that.
we're
No.
doing Dancer in the Dark. Why? What's
it's
wrong
with
with it?
Bajork.
It's fucking depressing. I
We'll
cannot.
leave Dancer in the Dark on
Okay,
the table here.
It's the
All right.
movie. It's the movie
Wait,
where
hold
she
on.
died.
Do
Hold
you
on.
guys want to watch it?
No, not with your reaction. I don't.
Well, I mean, it's if you want to veto it, we can veto it this week, but
I've pulled another one
Wait,
out already.
hold on. So explain the rules
Zip.
again.
Okay, so we haven't really explained this rule yet, but we all have the power to veto a film. Any one of us can. That doesn't mean that we're not covering the movie. That just
Right.
means
It goes back in.
it goes back in, and the next time it gets pulled,
Cannot be vetoed.
It cannot be vetoed. It must be watched.
Okay, so hold on.
So we have vetoed Dancer in the
This
Dark.
is a Merv Griffin game.
And actually, I don't remember.
We
if
vetoed
it-
something else.
We vetoed
Oh.
Ingrid Goes West
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to open
Yeah,
this
yeah,
next?
It's even
Open.
more
So
depressing.
this is going back in?
Yes. I'm not ready for that one.
oh no, Dan's
No,
rolling his
we
eyes.
can watch it. Whatever. I still know what you did last summer.
Oh,
Oh,
That
you're gonna
just-
hate it.
That just sounds like total
Hey,
crap.
hey, Jack Black.
Like
Jack-
100% crap.
No, Dan. Jack Black plays a Jamaican guy.
I can't wait.
You know what?
Dan, it's not total crap. It's absolute shit.
This
I-
is going to be total crap.
I know. It's that
I'm fine
better,
watching it. I have
right,
no problem
better
watching
than
it.
Dancing in the Dark for now.
Hey.
Well, based on your reaction, I never want to see Dancer. I mean, when you
Oh.
do that, I'm like, I'm
Do you
out.
like having
Frank,
feelings?
I'm out,
Frank,
man.
the poster that you put for Dancer in the Dark
It's
is the
fucked up.
funniest thing I've ever
Yes,
seen
I
in my
know.
life.
Is it on there?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's
All right.
hilarious.
It's
So,
Bajork.
all right,
I
everyone.
still know what you did last summer.
Do
we
you,
put this
though?
back in, or do
Nope. We're tossing
we? Do
that
you
one.
eat it?
Yeah, eat it. Eat it.
Don't
eat
ask
it.
me
Eat it.
questions.
Do you do what Christopher Walken did in
With the
Pulp
with the
Fiction
pocket
with the watch?
watch.
Maybe.
Your father held this pocket
Alright.
watch in his ass.
Join us next week.
That's so sad.
Why are you cutting me off when I'm doing my best Christopher Walken?
That was horrible.
That was
Well, I
good
didn't
enough.
say it was
saving-
good.
It was
Yo,
almost.
father.
Ro- you know what it sounded like? Roger.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Who are you doing?
Anyways,
Travis, who
Yeah,
are you
Travis,
doing right
what are
then?
you doing?
Yeah, what impersonation were you doing?
that's what you're doing.
No.
It's Dan's best friend. That's all we're gonna say.
Okay.
So, anyways,
So, watch us,
Like us.
Stalk us.
talk about us.
review us, share us.
Review us.
Let's do it one at a time. And
Like,
Share.
Subscribe.
Talk about us.
our
pod,
Cast.
Yay.
till
next.
Week.
See.
us.
Out. Bye.
Did I tell you I saw Cocaine Bear?
No, how was it?
Awful.